welcome to this episode of He's Crafty, where today we'll be making the spell book for Hocus Pocus. We have a couple special guests joining us today. First off, I'd like to introduce Chip Gaines.
What the hell is on your head, bro?
It's my Winifred Sanderson wig, yo! Second, joining us via satellite, from Life as a Parody, our friend Chuckles the Clown.
It's just a bunch of hocus pocus. Yeah.
That's an awesome costume, but I don't remember which Sanderson sister had long red hair.
Hocus pocus.
Awesome. Well, if you're ready, Chip, we can start this project.
Yes, let's just get it over with.
Let's do it.
Alright, Chip, we're gonna be moving fast, so try to keep up. You ever done any sculpting before, Chip?
If I showed you my abs, you know the answer's yes.
Totally not what I was talking about. We're gonna sculpt all the pieces that go on the front and back of this book. Then after that, we're gonna make molds of them and cast them in resin for two reasons. Resin is more lightweight and more durable than just clay, and I cannot sculpt two of the exact same thing. I'm just not that good.
You got that right, bro.
I'm using two different types of clay. I got the light clay is easier to handle and softer, and then this dark gray clay is firm and a bugger to handle. I'm gonna start off by doing the snakes that are in the corners of the book. By doing it this way and making a mold, I only have to make one of these little bastards.
Do you even craft, bro?
This next piece is the latch that goes around the eye and closes the book. I'm eventually gonna glue a magnet onto this so that it'll close. Get it on there to fit right. This latch is gonna be 3 pieces. Gonna connect them by using hinges, 2 hinges. There's the claw for the back of the book. So eventually it's gonna look like this. Claw, hinge, there you go. The 5 fingers that are on the spine of the book, I'm just gonna make them out of this clay. I'm gonna bake this clay 275 for 30 minutes in the oven. On to making our molds. We're gonna use this rubber mold maker. We're gonna build up clay around our piece. Pinch it to the surface so the rubber doesn't leak out. You want this poured at least 1/4 inch over the highest point of your sculpture. It's as simple as mixing 2 components together. And there it is. So Chip, while we're waiting, you want to catch a movie or two?
Not at all, bro.
So I've decided to cast these 2 smaller pieces in a different type of mold. Because quite honestly, this other crap's expensive, and I didn't think we would use this much of it.
It's so weak.
Let's see how our first mold came out. So you peel it off the surface, and just dig out all the clay out of that thing. All that sculpting for nothing. It's all gone now. But hey, here we go. We got mold number 1. Now I spent the rest of our budget on another box of this rubber mold maker, all for this snake. Here comes mold number 2. There it is. And here comes our third and final rubber mold, the snake. Look at that. Now we're gonna move on to these 2 smaller pieces. We're gonna use this amazing mold putty. Mix A with B until it's a light yellow color, like so. Once you get to that point, you're gonna roll it out flat, stick your piece in there, apply firm pressure, let it dry for 15 minutes, and boom. As the kids say, look at those deets.
Just stop, bro.
We're gonna finish out this other little small piece, and then it's on to casting some resin. This will be the resin we use. You mix equal parts of A with equal parts of B. It pours clear, and then when it dries, it turns white. Look at that. Nice. Pour this one. Looks great. Here's the snake. Oh, let's start assembling our book. We'll start off by gluing the picture onto the cover of the book to use as a guide. Second, I'm going to cut the eye out, put in our fake eye, and hot glue that baby into place. Now around it, I'm putting Mod Podge and some cotton balls to make the eyelid. We're going to go over the stitch marks on the book with hot glue. While we're doing all this, Chip has been outside painting our resin pieces with a base layer of black, which we're going to dry brush with this silver metallic.
That totally looks like a pretzel, bro.
Look at that just pop.
Or a silver turd.
And here's the finished product. Boom. I'm going to take the latch piece and line it up over the eye so we can find placement for our magnet. That should work right there. I'm gonna put a base layer of black on the stitch marks just to make sure we got them covered.
Let me get some of this action, bro.
Alright, so what Chip is doing now is he's putting Mod Podge all over the book, covering it with tissue paper, like you wrap presents in. So you want to put down a layer of Mod Podge, tissue wrap on top, then Mod Podge back over the top of the tissue wrap. This is all going to give it more and more texture to the book, make it look like skin. Get the side. Now we're going to the back where I'm going to do the stitch marks again in the hot glue. Same process as in the front. Cover the back of the book. Now while this is drying, we're going to paint our fingers. This is just a base layer. It doesn't have to be perfect because we're going back over it again. Get them painted, dry, hot glue them to the spine of your book. And now the stitch marks on the spine, I'm going to make out of hot glue. So we'll run them in between the fingers. Then after that dries, we're going to go back over top of this stuff with some more Mod Podge and then another layer of tissue paper. So once this whole process dries, your book is looking sweet. It's time to paint that base layer of black all over the book. So we're going to get this whole thing covered and let it dry. Then it's going to come out looking like this. That looks pretty sweet as is.
No, it doesn't, bro.
But now we paint it with some darker brown mixed in with some scarlet red. All right, so this is all dry brushed, or you can sponge it, whatever you like. All right, so once this process is complete and this color is down, we're gonna move on to add some more colors in here to try to bring out some of the details, like the stitch marks.
You mean the deets? Ooh.
So for all that, we're gonna go with a lighter brown and just kind of work it in there, patting it dry with a paper towel. Now once this whole process is done for the entire book, comes the fun part. Now the stitching on this book could be done a few ways. You could do it with hot glue, you could do it with puffy paint, or you could actually use jute and a big old needle like we're doing. Do a section, glue it down, and then just keep going. We're drilling holes and we're making stitches.
Yeah, bro.
There's the front, and here comes all the back. Don't get me wrong, this was a tedious process. Now to make the stitching look old, I'm gonna mix some black paint in with some water. Just go over the top of the stitching so the color is muted out. On the side, I'm just gonna paint the stitches white and then go back over with the same paint and water mix. We're in the home stretch, Chip.
Thank God.
It's time to start gluing stuff onto the front of this thing. And the back. Put our latch together. Glue that sucker on the back. Looks good from the side, I think. Let's see if that magnet works. Boom. And there it is.
Not bad, bro.
Hey, well, thanks, Chip.
I think we got the point, bro.
Oh, hold on. Watch this background. I paid a lot for it.
That's terrible, bro. Just terrible.
Nice.
Well, that about wraps it up for this episode of He's Crafty. Chip, what'd you think of this whole experience?
Project awesome. You guys weird.
Chuckles, what are your thoughts of the whole thing?
Hocus Pocus!
What the hell's wrong with you people?
Alright, well, until next time, I'm He's Crafty, he's Chip Gaines, he's Chuckles the Clown, and it's just a bunch of hocus pocus, huh?
He's crafty.